Hi, Rosie here, and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to talk to you about birth plans. Birth plans often get such a bad rap. They're seen as a way that a woman is dictating how she's going to have her perfect birth, and that this is everything that's going to happen. And quite often they're ignored or thrown away, or people laugh or make derogatory comments if a woman has a birth plan. But I think that we're looking at birth plans in all the wrong ways. Much like how when you're planning a journey in a car, you you plan your route A to B, uh, but you also acknowledge that you might come across traffic jams or roadworks, or heaven forbid your car breaks down, and so you have cast half an eye on where other routes could potentially go. You look at where there may well be traffic jams or high levels of traffic, and you plan accordingly, and you have in your mind that there's a potentially different route. You have a map with you, or sat nav these days, so you can readjust your route as you're driving, as you're on your journey, if things come up. And think this is how we need to look at birth plans, that you look at every eventuality that could happen in your journey from pregnancy to holding your baby in your arms. And whilst you look at every eventuality, you will go through and work through any fears or worries or anxieties that you have as those things come up. And you can make the plans. Is there a way you could prevent this from happening or reduce the likelihood of it happening? Maybe you you can't, there isn't anything you can do, so what can you do? What emotional or physical ways are there for you to support yourself through that? Maybe you use visualization techniques. Maybe you use get somebody to do massages, for example. You need to make sure that you've got the right birth partners with you, and that they're on your page, and that they know you well enough that they can support you as you go through uh, whichever eventuality happens. So your birth plan very, very much is less of this is what I want, and there's no way a way there's no other way that I'm going to do this, to this is what I would prefer, this is how I'm seeing my birth and how I'd like it to happen, but I acknowledge that there's other things that could happen, and I create myself a toolbox and beliefs and thoughts and positive thinking and physical aspects to help me if any of those things do happen. That way you make sure that your birth, whatever direction it is a positive for you. It's something that you look back on and you are happy with it. You see it as a positive experience. I came to this conclusion with my first birth. I had come into birth really before I became pregnant. I was terrified of birth. I didn't think it looked painful. The videos I'd seen were women screaming in pain, and as much as I had a drive to be pregnant, I also had this fear of, could I cope with that much pain? I discovered hypnobirthing and pregnancy yoga, and I did a hypnobirthing course and pregnancy yoga all the way through my pregnancy, and I was so sure and convinced and in the right mindset that I could cope with the pain. I had all the tools, and that I was prepared for everything. And I was prepared for the contractions and the labour. What I wasn't prepared for was the fact that I had to have a change of midwives, that labour stalled and baby wouldn't come out, and that I had to be transferred to hospital and have a forceps birth. And after we'd been released from hospital and came home, that I then had to go back into hospital because my baby had jaundice. And this all culminated in really affecting me deeply, that something had gone wrong. I felt let down. I felt my body had let me down. I felt betrayed by people. And when my little one was very, very tiny, I walked loads. I'd pop him in a sling and go out for a walk, and it really helped me to process what had gone on, process going from being just Rosie to being a mum as well. and to really sort of spend time thinking what had happened and how I could have prevented this happening. So I think that birth plans are really important, and in my my Better Birth Method program, this is something that we really look into. We look into really digging deep into your fears and your anxieties and worries, and into what you have got and where you can get support and the techniques to support you and the people around you to support you. Your birth partners who aren't going to change are going to be there. So I will link into the description bit at the bottom to a link for a freebie on 5 essentials for a better birth. And from there you can sign up to find out when my program is live, which will be very shortly. And I'd also love to know in the comments if you have had a birth plan, if you used a birth plan, and how that worked for you. All right, take care. Bye bye.